Shut the fuck up, I'm ready. What up, y'all? It's your boy, the one and only A Switch, aka damn, aka damn it, aka let me hold a Rice Krispie treat, aka let me suck on your shoulder hard. AKA let me be great. Okay. Can I be great for once? Bringing you hope I'm not breaking. Bringing you yet another episode of Switch's Sights, my gaming and nerd related podcast where I talk about all of things of that nature that I find interesting and that interest me. That's kind of redundant, but I'm gonna go with it anyway because things. Yeah. It's October 11th, 2019. Apologies. Wanted to get this out yesterday, but man, let me be real with you. I've been having this. I have a NAS, right? For those that I'm not gonna go too deep into this, but for those that don't know, NAS is a network attached storage, right? So, I had my NAS. It was working for a while, and then all of a sudden, it just stopped working. It just started shutting off intermittently, and then yeah, come to find out, I was like, okay, I need a new power supply. So, let's say a couple months or so. Actually, no, not a couple months. Probably like a week or so came by. I was like, okay, let me swap out the power supply. Swapped out the power supply, and wouldn't you know it, did not work again. I did the test that a lot of the tech heads know, or people that are versed with computers know, where you can loop the what do you call it, the paper clip, and basically connect it to power, and then if the fan runs, then it must work. So I did that, and then what do you know, it does work. So I'm like, okay, well, it's got to be maybe the motherboard or the CPU, because mind you, I've had it for like, man, actually I've had it like for like the board, for the chip, the CPU for like 8 years. So I was like, okay, maybe it's the CPU and or motherboard. Even though I kind of doubt it was a motherboard because I got that swapped out. I got it like the same model that was like more revised model. This is very interesting talk for well, actually it is kind of related. So I did all that, and I'm like, what the hell? What is this? What is that? Like the meme. And so I'm like, I'm befuddled. I'm like, okay, I guess I just have to buy a whole new NAS in terms of a motherboard, CPU, RAM, and I think a case or whatever. So that's what I was like in the mindset of. I'm like, okay, it's gonna be a while, so like I just let it be. So I had a lot of data on there. I'm like, all right, let it be. It'll be okay. So I was like, testing again, and part of me, I was looking at some troubleshooting stuff. Was thinking that maybe just the power supply, just for whatever reason, not compatible with my motherboard. Considering this motherboard is pretty old, like roughly around 2011, 2012-ish is when it came out, but still is pretty sufficient for NAS. So do that, get the damn new power supply. At least the one I had before was EVGA, but then I swapped and switched for Corsair, and wouldn't you know it, it was powering up just fine, like nothing ever happened. So I wasted so much damn time troubleshooting, uninstalling, reinstalling the motherboard, CPU combo, all to find out that it was just the damn freaking power supply. But what threw me off in general was that the power supply, it seemed like it worked just fine. So that led me to think it was something else wrong. And of course it wasn't. Just my luck. Story of my damn life. So that is not even the end of the story. So get the power working, and now I have like some WD Red 40s or WD Red brand hard drives, which are pretty reliable. Haven't given me any issues. So after swapping out the power supply, trying to get the NAS back up, we then basically I plug everything back in and try to start it up, and then of course, just my freaking luck, only 2 drives show up. I have 4, mind you, all connected properly. So have that connected, and then now I'm like, okay, what is going on now? So basically, I then try to connect them with different connections, and make sure the power is working properly. They seem to be getting power, but they're just not spinning when I boot them up. So that's leading me to believe that somehow, some strange reason, the WD Reds, the 2 of them to be exact, died on me for some reason. I don't know. So, doing some testing and further with that, I tried another hard drive I had lying around. Plugged that in the same exact slots that these drives were in, and what do you know it, it's spinning up and working just fine. So now I'm just like confused on all fronts. I just don't know how to deal with myself. I don't even know what life is anymore now. So now I potentially lost like half of my data. And my dumbass, I didn't put my hard drives in RAID configuration, which gives you redundancy to, in case 2 of your drives fail or whatever any of your drives fail, you can still have remnants of it, more so than if you had it in unrated configuration, basically. So basically, try to dumb it down a little bit. I had it in a general standard configuration, not necessarily standard, but unprotected configuration, that in the case of the situation that happened now, all of my data will be lost, or a very good chunk of it will, if I don't figure out what's going on. On the good side, these do have a 3-year warranty, so I won't be at least out of luck in terms of getting a replacement or having to pay out of pocket to replace them. But I'm hoping I can figure it out over this weekend, to try and get them to work, because I don't want to lose the data on here, because it's all very precious. Includes a lot of assets, data, and things of that nature. Music, man, I would be so butthurt. But yeah, sorry to go on that super nerdy tech tangent, but I think it's warranted. But that's what's been catching me up, because sometimes I'll kind of entertain you guys. sometimes when I want to get something fixed and it just bothers me to the core, and I'll keep fighting until I resolve it. That's just a knack in me, also being in IT, that's kind of rubbed off on me as well, just out of morbid curiosity, as well as, wanting to get it to work or just know why it's not working. So that's been occupying my life lately in that respect. But yeah, so moving on to the focus of the show. It's October. It's getting creepy, baby. You know it. It's getting slightly chilly out in LA. I'm coming out. I'm originally from Michigan, so for me, it's just another day. It's like it's barely even fall. What is it gonna feel like? Probably like fall until December-ish, I'm assuming, at least for the past years being out here. So today's date is October 11th, 2019. Man, I wish I got the 1010, get the 1010, but by one, damn it, it's okay. I won't lose sleep over it. It's okay. So, with all that said, let's get into that damn news. Okay. So probably, let me get my stuff organized. Put all my birds in a row. Put your ducats in a box. Put your pizza in the coin. Put the Cheetos in the basket. I don't know. So, probably the biggest news of this week. Actually, a lot of interesting news has happened this week. Probably the biggest of them all, I would say, I think we would all say and mutually agree, the PlayStation 5 is actually the PlayStation 5. I'm at a loss for words. I just wasn't sure for a moment. Wasn't sure they thought they could have went with the Orbis, whole new direction, and wouldn't stick with the true name. But man, I was just so shocked. It was like, we're gonna call it, guys. Guys, we've heard. Guys, we've heard you. We're going to call it PlayStation 5. So literally what we've been all calling it up until now. So good on you, Sony, because you know how Sony has been in the past. Sometimes they get super duper cocky, and then it becomes that moment. They get too cocky, and then they just go off the cuff, and then they end up in last place. Somewhat back in the PS3 360 generation. Even though I think they ended up coming back slightly, or at least being even with Xbox 360. But either way, that's just a interesting tidbit nonetheless. But yeah, PlayStation 5 revealed itself. Well, not necessarily revealed itself. Revealed details. At least it seemed very interesting in terms of when it came out, because it seemed like it was trying to diffuse all the layoffs that were happening at Sony at the time. Who knows? At this point, potentially that could have been Sean Layden as well, considering his departure and them announcing that. And then it's like it was very weird. It's like last week, it was Sean Layden's departure and a couple other employees of Sony that were laid off, and then it's like right immediately after, hey guys, our new console is gonna be PlayStation 5. Oh, and man, we gotta tell you all the specs, all these new specs on them. Ooh, they're gonna be so great. Oh, look at we got haptic feedback on the controller. We got whenever you play in a game, you can see in more detail at the menu when you can join in with the other folks. So it seemed like a red herring, to try to diffuse things, which honestly I'd say is kind of working, because everybody put the news that happened previously completely aside and are now focusing on the matter at hand of PlayStation 5 and all the details of it. So, we'll definitely divulge in some of the details regarding it in that respect, at least from what I got reading it. So, I think the biggest notable announcement is their use of the SSD. It seems like that's going to be the main pillar of the PS4. I mean, PS5. That's going to be hard. I'm going to start. I know that's going to start happening already. So basically, SSD has been hugely reputable for having the fastest loading times. So it only would make sense for it to be the next implementation in the next generation console, or more than likely going to be in the Scarlet, I would assume as well. So with that implementation, that's going to lead to obviously better load times, much faster, snappier UI navigation, and things like that. I want to say that it's going to be somewhat of a hybrid. I thought I saw in the article, in terms of in the article specifically with Wired, they divulged all this information. At least I know they dropped a tweet on Twitter, saying, "Hey, PlayStation 5 is coming out holiday 2020." So I guess that's another factor too. We did at least get a confirmed release date or release date window, which is holiday of next year, which pretty much everybody kind of assumed. Probably at least if last generation's release was any indication, probably November-ish, which is fine, totally fine. Yeah, back to the SSD. So it seems like they're gonna do something interesting with the SSD, or like kind of integrate it way more, which kind of is leading people to think that it might be proprietary, as in you can't like upgrade it in the future and stuff in a long run like you can do with the PS4. So I'm very curious to see how that's gonna play out in particular, because we all know how quick that data is gonna fill up. Us hardcore gamers. In that respect, I'm trying to think in terms of, I guess also in line with that, they did reveal that they are gonna focus more on, I guess partition installs, for lack of a better term. So basically, PC has been doing it to a reasonable extent, as well as some rare games here and there where you're given a choice to either install like just multiplayer and single player, or you can, swap out which, and also uninstall either or, which is pretty damn interesting. So basically that's going to give you a lot more freedom in terms of space, because at least with our current gen consoles now, you generally have to install the whole game. You can't like omit just only installing the multiplayer, only installing the single player, and uninstalling as well. So now you get a lot more freedom in that respect. So you can install, if you just want to play the single player, you can do that. Or if you want to download both, and then after you're done with the single player, you can uninstall that. So all that is pretty damn cool. And I believe it's also, going on the technical standpoint, it's also going to have 100, I think 100 gigabyte Blu-ray disc, the 4K Blu-ray disc, which you'll obviously be able to play, but it'll have a higher capacity, so we'll get more than likely games following up with that, in terms of, because obviously the games are only going to get bigger at this point, so all in all, I'm liking those deets. Then the controller. So at least the biggest thing was, they said the not analog, but the triggers, they are going to be more, I guess, what's the word? Interactive? I guess that's the best way of saying it. where basically it will increase tension. So like they at least they said in an interview, like the biggest example of that would be like a bow. So in terms of when you're drawing a bow, it'll be much harder than if you're shooting a handgun. So you'll be able to immediately kind of feel the difference, and in turn engage you more. Which that sounds pretty cool. If in practice, that seems to be great. So I'm all for that. And then also the haptic feedback. So they said that they're getting, at least what I believe, I think they said in an interview that they're getting rid of traditional rumble and then introducing haptic feedback, which roughly is generally the same to an extent. So I'm not too, I guess, caught up on that, which I'm totally fine with. I'm all for that. It seems pretty cool. I know we've had it on our phones, and when we game on the phones, it gives us that. And I think Sony can probably make it and implement it in a pretty cool, interesting way. So I'm very curious to see the controller itself. That interestingly has been not disclosed in terms of the details of the controller. Is it actually going to be called the DualShock 5? We won't know. They could name it anything. They could name it anything but the DualShock 5. It's like, why wouldn't you want to call it the DualShock 5 if it comes with the PlayStation 5? But who knows? Sony could be daring, like, hey, we named PlayStation 5, but the DualShock 5, we'll name that the Dodogama Monster Hunter World Iceborne exclusive. Dodogama. You can only get the controller by purchasing the game. Actually, wouldn't be a bad predicament, to be honest. But I digress. Outside of that controller, we touched on the UI that they said that they're gonna try to make it more interesting and immediate. So if you see somebody playing a game that you want to join in on, they said it's going to be way more seamless than it is currently. Very curious to see how that's going to play out, because it seems to be somewhat straightforward, but I guess they're going to maybe I know in the article they said that it's going to be more detailed in terms of what they are actually doing, like the board, their status and all that, which they've kind of been doing on even a 360, even depending on the game. So I guess maybe now it's just going to be more native. But I think that's ultimately still probably going to fall on the developers to some extent, where, some can be just lazy about it and not implement it, or half-ass implement it, like level 55 gunner or something like Borderlands, for example. So who knows at this point. They did also mention that Blue Point, who's been known for making pretty good remakes, I think recently Shadow of the Colossus, and what else? That's at least the recent one, but they've been pretty known for making remakes. I want to say they worked on Dead Rising 2 specifically. Not 100% on that, but either way, they've been at least mostly known for their great ports. So they did, at least according to news, they did announce that it's gonna be a remake coming. So it's not gonna be new, but it is a remake of a game. So at least what most people, include myself, assume it's gonna be is Demon Souls. For those that don't know, that's the exclusive PS3 title that was kind of the antithesis of Soulsborne games. So basically Dark Souls before Dark Souls was Dark Souls, technically. And the spiritual successor or predecessor, right? Spiritual predecessor to Dark Souls. So I'd love to play that, see that in all its PS5 graphical goodness. Definitely would pick that up. That'd be definitely a system seller. Consider it, man, just the contrast of how niche and very niche of a game it was coming out, and now it's so like renowned, and now it's like its own genre or subgenre of games now, and now with that being a standard in terms of games, like that's the kind of uh, the measurement you go by for those types of games. So it's like, oh, is this a Soulsborne game? Is this a Souls game? You know, it's crazy, but it definitely deserves it. So definitely looking for that. Looking forward to that whenever that comes to be, for sure. But yeah, that's my guess. I can't really think of anything else. I believe I don't think they mentioned PlayStation exclusive. Let me see. I want to say they said it was a PS exclusive game, and that obviously leads us to believe, because Demon Souls only released on PlayStation 3 and has yet to be remade. So I think it's a pretty much a given that we're gonna get a Demon Souls remake. I believe. Also, they touched on ray tracing. They said that, or allegedly, they claim that supposedly there will be native hardware ray tracing capabilities, which at least it is somewhat known to be taxing on consoles. But at least in this case, they said it's native to the hardware, so it's not software based, which is a different type of method of doing ray tracing. But in this case, it is going to be hardware based. But considering it's AMD's like you know graphics chip and graphics cards, we haven't really necessarily seen it uh, through its paces yet, to my understanding. So it'll be interesting to see how it actually is implemented, or if it's just some subpar ray tracing to some extent. But either way, that is another option for them to work with overall. Um, Outside of that, that's pretty much it. Let's see. Oh, they did confirm a DualShock 5 battery is going to be greater, because that's definitely been a issue with the PS4 controller. That'll be good. I want to say I mentioned it before, but I hope they have introduce an elite variant, similar to Xbox One of the controller. At least that those triggers, they seem to kind of lead me that way, or lead me to speculate that way at least. So I hope that does become a thing at some point. I totally would love to see that if it does come to be. That'd be so damn great. That'd be so damn great. But all in all, this is a lot of good stuff. Yeah, faster loading times. That's awesome. I'm not sure. I swore I heard this somewhere that it will have some type of synergy, like a dedicated SSD and then another SSD. I mean, not a SSD, but a traditional hard drive you can use. Maybe that part is possibly swappable, where you can maybe potentially put in two SSDs if you want, or much greater storage option. If that's the case, I think that'd be totally fine. It would just be a dedicated SSD to kind of swap out stuff. So who knows? But all in all, good bucket of news. Very interesting in terms of how they kind of rolled it out. With Sony kind of being very nonchalant, and like I was saying earlier, it was like they just dropped a tweet on October 8th. I believe that was Tuesday. And it's like PlayStation 5 launches holiday 2020. And that was it. So yeah, I don't know. Um, I can say at least the kind of nonchalant, hands off approach that Sony's taken with this news and rolling out news and releasing stuff is been working for them. And on top of that, saving a lot of damn money too. Especially not going to E3 this year, and things like that. It's been working a lot for Sony. It's like a very much less is more approach that it's like man, that whoever Sony's marketing team is, man, they probably got a raise already. Let's be honest. And they're not even doing anything. They letting us do the work for them, and we're all speculating, chit chatting here and there. Oh man, what? It's got SSD. Oh, you can load games by partitions. What? Oh man, you can load it by segments, multiplayer, single player. What? What? How is this? Oh my god, I can't wait for it though. So, all in all, I'm fine with it. I know some people are having issues and are expressing concerns that they're not going to have a traditional press conference to, reveal more details about the PS5 and actual form factor of it. We have seen like those dev kit leaks at least, where it looks like a damn, yeah, I swear it looks like a damn air humidifier. But pretty certain that's not obviously going to be the final build. Yeah, but that boy looked like a damn air humidifier. Just put some. It's probably that added. I think I made the same joke before. I had the added DLC component, PS4 with air humidifying technology. Had to buy that DLC add-on or attachment accessory. But yeah, man, excited. Definitely looking forward to the PS5. We almost there, baby. Next generation. Generation X. Take it away. Who? WWE Attitude or WWF Attitude Era. It was so great. All right, enough for the PS5 news. Oh, I guess one other thing. let me backtrack. They also did confirm 8 cores and 16 thread CPU. So that's kind of been somewhat softly confirmed, but we at least got definitive confirmation in terms of those details as well. So that's all good. All good grits and gravy, baby. Probably the other biggest news that came, I think, right after I recorded the episode last week. Red Dead Redemption 2 has finally been announced, coming on PC. I think we all kind of saw this coming when they Rockstar revealed the revealed the Red Dead or Rockstar launcher for PC. And what do you know? I think roughly a week or two later, we get this news dropped on us. So, in terms of the details, it's going to be coming out November 5th for the Rockstar store, and I think for some other platforms. Let me be sure about that. Da, 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 da. Yeah, so at least according to their announcement, that November 5th, it'll be available on the Rockstar Store, Epic Games Store, Green Man Gaming, Humble Store, GameStop, and additional retailers. November 5th. And then, man, I swear that is not right, man. Giving Steam the old big bird, F you, fuck you, whatever. And then that's coming out December on Steam. So personally, I'm not in any rush to play it. I mean, obviously, I have not said it on the podcast, but have fully played through Red Dead Redemption 2 and beat it. Had a great time. Definitely would like to double dip, especially if they let you transfer your online character. But then again, I have not really played much of it, the online mode. So either way, I'm definitely wanting to jump in and double dip and get that PC Master Race experience. 60 FPS. I mean, my bad. I'm sorry. 144 hertz of Red Dead Redemption 2 action.
I want all the graphics. All the graphics are gonna be so goddamn great. Yeah. Yeah.
I am kind of ashamed how accurate I have that. Not even gonna lie to y'all. Um, the specs were pretty generous too, for PC players wanting to play. I'm trying to look for those. So let me. They also, yeah, they said you can, if you pre-order exclusively from the Rockstar store, I think you're automatically upgraded to the Ultimate Edition at no cost or additional cost, and then you can get a choice of some of the Grand Theft Auto games and Rockstar games. So Grand Theft Auto 3, Vice City, San Andreas, Bully, LA Noire Complete Edition, Max Payne 3, the Complete Edition. So you can get two out of those for free if you pre-order through their store. And I don't want another damn store to deal with, man. Another launcher to deal with. Even though it probably is gonna proprietarily like have you install it to play it anyway. But yeah, pretty good news. Let me see them. Let me see them details. Come on, man. Come on, man. Damn it! I age gated myself. Ugh. Come on now. So yeah, man. Looking forward to it. Yeah, I could definitely wait until December. We got so many damn games coming out that I can barely keep up with anyway as is. Um, so yeah. So next in news, probably the other, well, it's like so much big, not controversial, but big stories in general. So Blizzard removed a Hong Kong Hearthstone player for basically promoting liberation for his country in China, or China in general, you know. And basically during an interview, you know, it seemed like he just abruptly broke out and, you know, for liberation of China, you know. So Hong Kong not really about that. And man, Blizzard kind of bitched out, to be honest. They basically um, removed him. He did win the tournament, but they basically confiscated his prize money, as well as, what else did they do? Oh, the two announcers that weren't even involved. They basically were just doing an interview with him, but then when he said that comment, they just ducked their heads, obviously not wanting to be associated with it. So that's probably the bigger thing that that's kind of stupid, because it's like they didn't even, it was not their fault. That's all on the Hearthstone player Blitzchung, from that aspect. So just to like, oh well, you were involved, so we're gonna get rid of you too. That just seemed too like bitch made, you know. It's like they were showing like, oh, we're so sorry, we won't accept that at all, and anybody involved, we're just gonna get rid of them. I personally didn't appreciate that. So yeah, but all in all, that it's starting this whole big social commentary in regards to that, bringing more awareness to the issue in China with all that, which is all good. I think recently, I want to say today, they had a comment or response about it, but it just seemed like blah blah blah. You know, these are the competition rules. Blah blah blah. At least from what I got. But all in all, it just seemed like a bitch move from Blizzard to do that. I would say I protest by not playing any of their games, but I don't really, as of late at least, not really been playing their games anyway. So all in all, it's very interesting, but, and I guess the bigger messed up part from what I see is the fact that they claim that they're really big about giving them their voice to speak or whatever, but in this case, which is somewhat of an example of that, but I kind of see slightly their point in terms of not promoting propaganda, if you will, technically, against another country, or in their eyes, maybe technically defaming a country, if you will, or what have you. But yeah, they're definitely in the wrong in this scenario. I'd say for sure. They could have gotten a backbone and stood with the comment, or just not be so brash, especially taking out two unrelated announcers. That just seemed just uncalled for. I think that brought more attention to it, to be honest. It was like, that is just harsh, and it was uncalled for because they didn't even do anything. It wasn't their fault. So that's my piece on that. Interesting stuff, though. Interesting stuff. The PS4 got a new update, 7.0.0. That's basically going to add, I think, the max limit of party, your party limit. So now it's was 8, now it's up to 16. You can also limit your party number as well, which I'm pretty sure you couldn't do before. They also said that there's better functionality with the party, so you don't get freaking NAT errors and connection issues for chat, even though you're just fine in the game, which is a big plus. That shit was annoying. All in all, those are the most notable. I guess remote play. So let's see. Yeah, so I guess they added more support for Android. I think for the longest it wasn't official Android support. I know like some third party apps you can kind of do it, but not as I guess more or less effectively. So, and then I think support for the iOS 13, which now supports Bluetooth controllers, specifically Xbox One. The latest model of Xbox One. The other revisions don't have Bluetooth capability, but the latest revision of the Xbox One controller does have Bluetooth functionality. So, yeah, it's pretty cool. Love me some updates that aren't just stability. Get all these stable as fuck memes, Next, moving on to Capcom news, there's been some possible speculation that we're going to get a new character revealed at CPT, which currently I believe is in Brazil right now, which is appropriate, which I guess leads more to the speculation of the characters. So it's seems to be between or no, I think it's hinted, at least at first people were thinking that it was Oro, but now people are moving to Sean from Street Fighter 3. Well, both are from Street Fighter 3, and both from the Brazil locale, or at least associated with it. So that's pretty cool. I'm all for black fighting characters in games, and I will be interested to see his moveset, because I do like my Shoto characters. Love me some Ryu, but having a black version of Ryu, I mean, you can't get better than that, can you? I don't know. So I don't think they revealed it yet, but let me see the details when it is going down. Generally, it's at the end of the event, which I think is just the end of this weekend. Let's see. Yeah, so he's like, you want to see new characters, right? You want new content too? I'm sure that's what you're all thinking. I shouldn't. Well, about that, we're going to have new information to present to you in regards to the Capcom Cap finals in November. in Capcom and at Capcom Cup in December. So if you could please just stay patient till then. Okay, so we could hear some stuff in November. Well, we will in November and December. So who knows? Possibly would like to be Street Fighter 6, but I guess that's kind of too soon considering the competitive nature of everything. Probably going to be a big overhaul, like a season. I don't even know what season it is now with Street Fighter. It started in 2015. It's 2019 now. Been 4 years since the game released. So, maybe it's season 4. So what they will be announcing might be season 5 technically, I believe. Could be totally, completely wrong on that. Personally, haven't been following up Street Fighter. I have my most favorite character, Dudley. So that's kind of lost some points. There is Sagat and Alex I was rocking for a while, but I don't know. Just I out of the fighting games, of all the fighting games I like or would play out of them, it's Tekken for me, man. Tekken 7 and season 3 seems to be interesting. We'll get on that later. Probably the most surprising news. Yeah, I'd say it's a safe statement. The surprising news is Monster Hunter is gonna have Leon Kennedy and Claire Redfield in some costumes and some related weapons as a DLC for Monster Hunter World coming in November. It was a very funny ass trailer, man. Probably the most funniest was Tyrant, aka Mr. X. He looks like he's gonna be a handler skin in Monster Hunter World. So even the cut scenes, it shows him like doing all the motions of the handler and stuff. But he's just like freaking Tyrant, this big ass hulking threat that comes to you, just coming at you like being next to you and helping you out. It's gonna be freaking hilarious, and I want every aspect of it. I probably will give him that skin and never take it off. If I have to pay for that skin, I will, because that skin, it seems so damn great. So, and there was also some zombie type skins as well, which is pretty cool. And they did seem to hint at what looks to be like a special quest where you can where it's the how thou has it, and it seems like when you get effluvial, which is basically like a kind of, think of it of not necessarily curse in Dark Souls, but basically pretty Dark Souls inspired, I think, attribute that basically halves your health, not permanently, halves your health until you either get out of the status, which you can do in a couple ways, I want to say, or you have a stat that prevents effluvial buildup altogether, or a fair amount. All in all, or what else heals it? I think a null berry gets rid of it too. But yeah, that is pretty damn cool. That is pretty cool. They got the knives out. Leon got the costume. It's great. Keeping in line with Monster Hunter World news, they also revealed the update that I think came out today, which has the new monster Rajang, who's a bitch. Just gonna put that out there. Rajang the bitch, the wannabe Koku monkey bitch. That's it's rough in translation, but roughly translated, I know all Japanese, so I mean, it means like I said, wannabe Goku monkey bitch. They roughly translated it and watered it down from Japan, but I'll give you the deets. That's basically what he is. So with that, there was also some great ass additions that I really like. Biggest one for me, motherfucking well, not really transmogking, but a greater well, I guess you can say roughly transmogging. It seems like from what they announced, I haven't played the game yet since the update. That they're adding a lot more layered armor options that you can get earned now in the game, and they said they're using a lot of your traditional armor options as layered armor that you can craft and make now, which basically roughly is the same thing as transmogging, at least in a sense of what it is, which is basically putting another set of armor visually over your existing armor, where you basically maintain the stats of your main armor, but also benefit from getting the cool appearance of whatever you choose over the armor. So that's the real game. That's the real game. That's when Fashion Hunter begins. And damn it, I love me some Fashion Hunter. You see on my Twitter, especially Monster Hunter Generations, that's what puts it, or at least put it up above Monster Hunter World for me, is that you can transmog and play the game or meta game of Fashion Hunter in Monster Hunter World. And love me some damn Fashion Hunter, okay? I just want to let y'all know I love me some goddamn Fashion Hunter. Don't let anybody tell you different. So, me, when I'm rocking in Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate on the Switch, I got me my pimp cap with the feather, mind you, okay? That's rare. That's why I put it out. I got my chest out. I got the nipple showing. So, that's a given. I gotta let these ladies know I got the muscles, to put them in place if they try to come at me the wrong way. Oh, got the pants, and got the gloves on. I wish they were fingerless, okay? I wish they were fingerless. And I swear my friends keep giving me a hard time, but they'll realize it one day. One day they will. But, okay, I do have an affinity or, a tendency to dress my characters very similarly in fashion that may or may not incorporate a beret, if that's a possible option, shirtless with some pants, or military inspired equipment and or gear, or some gis, like gi pants, or kind of like looking like Ryu, but a deviation of it, and fingerless gloves. I'm a damn sucker for some fingerless gloves, so let me tell you, okay? But that's okay. That's what I like, all right? Let me like what I like. Let me style how I style, okay? That's what makes Fashion Hunter fun, all right? There's also a couple other aspects and news they revealed too, which was, what am I thinking of? It was something in particular. Oh, you more options for your house, which you can decorate, and also now you have the ability to invite other players in your house, or your room, which they did say was going to be implemented at some point, which in this case obviously is now. So, and then they said they added a new area to the Gilded Lands, a lava base level. I forgot the specific term for it, which I hope they didn't patch. They probably did by now. Patched out the Gilded Lands, at least what people on the internet has been calling it. Not officially at least, or widely at least, but there's a Gilded Lands exploit that lets you double the rate that you earn points for upgrading your area or whatever area you want to upgrade. Which I'm pretty sure I talked about in the last podcast, but if you want to hear that, feel free to check that out. But yeah, all in all, very welcomed additions to the Monster Hunter World Iceborne game. That game is great, and probably my biggest gripe with the game was lack of transmogging, which it looks like they are working to resolve. So probably with further updates, they are going to probably add more more options in that aspect. And then that's when the true fun game of transmogging really begins. I'll tell you what. Love me some damn Fashion Hunter. You hear me? Make me style on these damn monsters, okay? They gonna be so damn scared. That's the thing. I'ma look so damn great. They gonna be scared of me because I look so damn great. You hear what I'm saying? You pick up what I'm putting down, cause I will pimp smack them damn monsters if they don't act right. That's Capcom. If you listening, that's a great suggestion that I hope you guys implement to some extent. Please put the pimp slap emote in Monster Hunter World Iceborne. Thank you very much. It could do at least like the same damage as a kick, or any of the other taunts that do damage. Hell, you know what? Make it be an insta kill. Just have a long wind up time. You just preparing the hand. You spitting all in it, winding it up, winding it up for like 5 minutes, and then if it actually lands, it like insta kills the monster. Oh, that'd be so damn great. Equivalent of Tekken's critical insta hit attacks or one hit kill attacks that some of the characters have. That'd be honestly, that'd be pretty great. I could see a lot of videos spawning from that, trying to do those Monster Hunter World videos that have them ridiculous like stat manipulations where they get like 20 armor skins and 20 defense boost, or do the exploit of killing yourself and give you I forgot what the attribute was, where you die you get boosted attack 20% or something like that. Just straight manipulating the whole damn game. All in all, that would be pretty great. It's probably a pipe dream at this point, but one can dream, can they? Okay, one can dream, can they not? But yeah, all in all, some pretty good, interesting details. They also did lay out a roadmap in terms of the further updates. So they said for sure we're gonna get the one in November, and then another one in December where they're gonna reveal a monster. It was either the November update or the December update where they're gonna reveal a yet to be revealed monster. So that's gonna be cool. Trying to think which monster it would be, and one does not come in my head. Who I want it to be would be Gore Magala. I think he was a really cool, unique monster from Monster Hunter Generate 4 originally, at least where he premiered. But would love to see him get the Monster Hunter World treatment. Yeah, that'll probably be my pick for the next Monster Hunter World monster. Who knows? They might throw a curveball and be like a completely original monster. Either or, I'd be fine with it. The more monsters, the more merrier. But yeah, that covers at least all the interesting news that I at least caught this lovely week of spookiness. So now let's get into what I've been playing. What I have been playing, for those on that don't know, or that don't follow me on Twitch, don't know. If not, go ahead and follow your boy, A Switch on Twitch, Twitch TV/A Switch. Get your boy a follow, okay? Please, please. Been playing, getting back to some classics, in celebration of the week of spookiness, or month of spookiness, that is October. So finally got around to playing some of that Silent Hill for the Room. This was the last title from Team Silent, basically the team that pretty much made Silent Hill 1 through 4. So I was like, might as well end it right and play Silent Hill 4, see what it's all about. There were some also, some Silent Hill releases after that. Homecoming, Downpour, Can't think of any of the other ones, but there was a lot of other ones that came after that, but they weren't made by Team Silent. And to my understanding, they weren't necessarily good or worthwhile playing. To my understanding, so that's probably going to be the end for me in terms of Silent Hill series as a whole. 1 through 4 is good, satisfying enough for me. Some of the best in horror gamings. In comparison to the Resident Evil series, in my opinion. So I like their unique take on horror adjacent to Resident Evil as well. So, but yeah, at least from what I'm playing, this game seems to start the road on the rough, kind of the downhill for the Silent Hill series, at least. From what I'm playing, not harshly judging the game's mechanics or, well, I guess I am really. Probably the biggest point is that later in the game you escort a character pretty frequently, at least towards the end of the game. I presume I've yet to beat it yet. Probably plan to do it maybe tonight or tomorrow. But yeah, with that aspect. It gets pretty annoying, to say the least, in a lot of aspects. But the story is somewhat interesting enough where I do want to see it through, which I do plan to do. I think I am close to the end. I think I got one more session left before I believe it does end. So, looking forward to that. Feel free to check my streams in that respect too. But yeah, in line with that, what else have I been playing? This past weekend, I was catching up on some whatchamacallit. What do you call it? I think I was miscellaneously picking up on stuff here and there. Played a little bit of Gears 5. I was basically trying to get some medals to, get your kind of Game Pass equivalent items where if you keep playing the game, you get additional items and stuff like that. What else? It was something I played that I cannot put my finger on. What was it? I'm not sure. I'm drawing a blank. It was something on the PlayStation. What would I play on the PlayStation for? Recently, I don't know. I'm drawing a blank. Was it Call of Duty? Yeah, it may have been Call of Duty. I think I was playing some Call of Duty Black Ops 4. They had a new drop of DLC. I forgot which one this was called. I played a little bit of that. A little bit of what else? Oh, Tekken 7. I just was hitting the lab with Brian Fury. Wanted to see the new changes he got added to season 3. Didn't really seem like he had any drastic or notable changes outside from one particular move where it's down 3-4 and hold down to down 3-4. That was probably only a new attack. I think there's I'm assuming some additional attributes or properties for some moves that just didn't catch my eye, at least. But for what I played, Brian seemed to be about the same, which is fine. He's been a pretty competent character overall, but looking forward to honing my skill with him at some point whenever I do find some time to make him great, outside of that, that's all I've technically been playing. Silent Hill, a couple miscellaneous multiplayer games here and there. I think I dabbled in Red Dead Online for briefly a bit. I'll just be getting those money incentives and then just be leaving the game. I think I did the same with Grand Theft Auto as well. I'm still need to do a lot of those additional DLCs or story missions. I at least did the main story missions, but all the DLC added story missions. I think the heists I did, but now just to remain in other stuff after that. That came out after that, at least. So, yeah. So, yeah, I guess that covers games that I've been playing, at least as of late. Let's get on to other content. So, for those that don't know or who left The Walking Dead after Rick Grimes left, or left after, well, I ain't going to try to spoil any for people that aren't uninformed. So, some other big characters leaving. I did watch season 10 of The Walking Dead, or the premiere of season 10 of The Walking Dead. It's pretty good. Pretty good. Yeah, I don't really have any immediate what's the word, like, issues with the new cast, or not new cast, but I guess post Rick Grimes cast. They seem to be holding up pretty well. It seems like they're being implemented in a meaningful way, in terms of, the writing of the show and direction and stuff like that. So, but at least from this episode, it's pretty good. I'm pretty interested to see what the next episode holds. Pretty much, the rest of the season. For those that don't know, I know Denai Guerrera announced that this is going to be her last season, so I'm very curious to see. It's like all attention is going to be on her now, is whether is she going to die or is she going to be alive and all that. So that's going to be interesting to kind of see how they take care of her in that extent, or give, yeah, I'm going to refrain from spoilers. But yeah, so yeah, I'm invested in the next season. I know at New York Comic-Con, I believe, this past weekend, they revealed details about the next new Walking Dead spinoff, basically. I think it's untitled at the moment, but it seems to be, it's kind of not certain what the timeline is for it, but it seems to, from the trailers at least, take place in a different place adjacent to the original Walking Dead series. But it seems like they've been there for longer than the original Walking Dead series. So it seems like it may possibly take place in a distant future from the Walking Dead, original Walking Dead. Fear the Walking Dead, I don't know. I've watched season 1. Did I watch all of season 1? I think I got somewhat close to season 1, but just never got around to watching it, the rest of it. I just never got the inkling or the desire to watch the rest of it. I don't know. It just didn't grab me like the previous seasons, or like the original show. I don't know. It's just the writing and the attachment and the experience, I guess. I don't know. It just doesn't seem to hit as well with the new series. But apparently, just people hate. I didn't know the immense despise people have for the Fear the Walking Dead, but apparently that is a factor. Outside of that, I don't think I told y'all about the Joker. Yeah, I totally did watch the Joker last week. And yeah, the Joker, that's the thing. I'm still kind of in the fence about it, to be honest, but I feel like it's more of a personal thing. So I think my biggest issue with the Joker is that I think I came into the movie having the wrong expectations. I think that's my biggest issue personally, which I'm totally aware of. But then at the same time, it's like I'm not sure what I necessarily really wanted from this movie at the same time. And I guess that's why I kind of have this conflict in my head about my thoughts and opinion about the Joker movie. But from a movie slash cinematography standpoint, the Joker was good. But from a superhero story standpoint or origin story standpoint of, I guess, a villain, obviously in this case, it just didn't grab me like I wanted it to. I guess I'm just used to and love the traditional Marvel kind of format of movies where, you get a little comedy there, a little bit of, serious there, action. But obviously, DC is their own, beast, and they have their own tones and stuff like that. But I don't know. I do not know. I will say, at least things I did like about the movie. Joaquin Phoenix, who is the leading role for the Joker, did an excellent job for the character. You can definitely, I feel like he definitely portrayed my idea or concept of the Joker pretty well. Yeah, and it gives you an interesting perspective on, what it's like to be somebody that's mentally ill. So it does do an interesting tidbit on that aspect. But yeah, outside of that, I don't know, man. It had some weird undertones, which just seemed out of place, I guess. It just seemed like it was, I guess, on the nose. Maybe too on the nose than I would personally like. Like, for example, not necessarily a big spoiler, but you get some Trump overtones for sure in this movie, where it's like it's clear contrast comparison to Trump, which in this case being Bruce Wayne's dad. So he's at least in the course of this movie, he's trying to run for mayor and stuff like that, and you just get a lot of Trump correlations or satire commentary, and I don't know. It's not like I obviously you know, yeah, it's weird, man. I don't know. It just seemed out of place for a movie like this that's trying to explain the Joker, but it did kind of properly intertwine itself with the main story and how Joker came to be the Joker, even though I don't think Joker technically had an origin story. Yeah, man, it's like I'm not very undecided in terms of how I feel. But I guess that in of itself, I think, I wouldn't necessarily watch the movie again, kind of on my own accord. Obviously, if it was on and we were watching it with some friends or something, I'd be fine. But I wouldn't see myself getting this on like a 4K Blu-ray or wanting to watch this again. Maybe, but yeah, it was just weird, man. It was just weird. But it's like I don't know what I wanted from this movie. And I think that's the thing too, is like I don't think I needed this movie either way. That's the hard part. But I mean, from just a general, like, I guess if you separate, like, let's say if this wasn't a Joker movie, maybe I would have liked it a little bit more. It's hard to say, man. It really is. Yeah, I'm still somewhat conflicted about it. I thought I actually made my mind up at one time. I know on Twitter I had my thoughts or share my thoughts about it, but it's like the more I think about it, it's like I don't know. It's weird. I guess I just maybe didn't process it overall, but I can definitely say, yeah, I just had the wrong impressions of the movie going in. I was aware of the movie and like kind of the plot to some extent of what it was about, but it being an origin story to some extent. But it's like outside of that, I didn't really know what to expect from this movie. I guess at least kind of the notions I had is that yeah, we'd see Joker come to be who he is, and he be like some maniac or something like that, and how he kind of drives himself into this madness of craziness and whatnot. But I don't know. I think the ending too, it just gave off the wrong, or the message I wouldn't like. But it again, he's a villain, so it's like I don't know. I think I'm just putting my preconceived notions of an anti-hero hero on the Joker movie and expecting something of it. I don't know. I guess I wanted Joker to be more crazy than he was in this, even though he was pretty damn crazy in his movie to begin with. But I just wanted more of that crazy, untempered violence that Joker is known to have, and his super dark sides, which you see a good amount, but I don't know, man. It's like I don't know what I want from the movie, you know. But I will say it is worth a watch for sure. For people at least on the fence about it, I say it's on its own merit. It's a good movie, but I wouldn't see myself personally watching it again. So those are my thoughts on Joker without spoiling it, at least. Even though it technically has been out in a while, but yeah. So yeah, but I think that'll do it for me, guys. Of course, you can catch me on Twitch TV/ASwitch, which is where I do broadcast live my live recordings of the Switches Sites podcast. Also catch me on youtube.com/ASwitch, where I'm baking up that content for y'all. I swear to God I am. Alright? Wait on it. You can also, if you like to submit some questions to the show and would like them to be answered on the show, feel free. Just shoot me an email at aswitchtv@gmail.com, and I'll be sure to answer them within obvious reason. And if I do get enough questions, where I will try to get a dedicated segment out, or allocate a dedicated segment out to that. Yeah, I think that is it, guys. But yeah, been a pretty crazy week this week with the PlayStation 5, Red Dead Redemption 2 coming to PC. Some interesting stuff, man. It's happening. We're getting into that next generation hype, and I'm all here for it. But yeah, guys, until next time.